Rosewood Street in pouring time. Your coat too big, your smile too shy, still lit the storm like summer sky. We didn't speak, we just began, like rain knew how to love a man. I reached for you with soaked regret and found a heart I can't forget. The city blurred, the sky went gray, but love, it never looked away. Rain on Rosewood Street still plays like soft piano, old cassettes haze. I see you walking through the mist, like every drop was once a kiss. We never made it past the spring, but left behind a haunting ring of promises and rhythms sweet, still echoing on Rosewood Street. The windows fog, the cafes hum, but all I hear is how you'd come, with poems tucked inside your coat, and jasmine tea and half a note. We talked of books we'd never write, of falling stars and losing light. I didn't say I loved you then, but I have said it since again. And when it rains, it calls your name like shadows dancing in the flame. Rain on Rosewood Street still plays like soft piano, cassettes haze. I see you walking through the mist, like every drop was once a kiss. We never made it past the spring, but left behind a haunting ring of promises and rhythms sweet, still echoing on Rosewood Street. You spoke in velvet, slow and deep, a voice that wrapped around my sleep. You never raised your tone or hand, but moved me like the ocean's sand. We lived in whispers, late night drives, in candlelight and overnights. The world outside could never shake the way we touch, the way we'd break. Some silence holds more weight than screams, like tension wrapped inside our dreams. It's the way velvet breaks, quiet tears that no one shakes, a gentle pull, a warm retreat that leaves you standing in the heat. We never fought, we never cried, but I still felt the slip inside of love that smiles until it aches. That's the way velvet breaks. You held your love in careful hands, a tenderness that made demands, not in words but in delay, in what you never chose to say. I tried to meet you where you hid, in every glance you softly slid, but all the softness turns to stone when you're the one who sleeps alone. And touch can feel like letting go when hearts forget which way to show. It's the way velvet breaks, like satin torn on silver stakes, a silence laced with perfume trails, the kind that lingers as it pales. You kissed my cheek, I watched you drift, no slam, no storm, just subtle shift, a slow dissolve that heartbreak makes. That's the way velvet breaks. And I would take 1,000 fights over the way you left that night, because no echo ever came, just air, just scent, just empty frame. It's the way velvet breaks, so soft you don't know what it takes to leave behind a ghost so sweet that follows through each heartbeat. No loud goodbye, no broken plate, just silence at the garden gates. You turned and all the soft turned fake. That's the way velvet breaks. Soft things break the hardest way. Velvet never begs to stay. places no one saw. You called me wild, I called you kind. We chased the clouds we'd never find. No map, no path, no rules to keep, just laughter loud and kisses deep. The summers passed, we wrote our names in window glass and window panes. The world moved on in sharper ways, but we stayed soft through storm and blaze. We love like petals in a breeze, and left behind 1,000 seas. Those were our dandelion years, golden light and whispered fears. We didn't last, but oh, we flew, and every wind still leads to you. Not every flower stays in place. Some love was born to drift through space. We held the sun, then disappeared. In those bright dandelion years, you sent me songs you never sang. I wore your coat, I kept your slang. We promised things with fleeting eyes, then watched them fade with no goodbyes. Yet I don't cry when I recall, I just exhale and feel it all. The softness, wildness, golden hush that filled our hearts with breathless rush. Even now when winds turn warm, I feel you in the quiet storm. Those were our dandelion years, golden light and whispered fears. We didn't last, but oh, we flew, and every wind still leads to you. Not every flower stays in place. Some love was born to drift through space. We held the sun, then disappeared. In those bright dandelion years. And maybe that's the way it goes. Not every story ends in prose, but even now you bloom in me, in fields where time has set us free. Those were our dandelion years, soft explosions, gentle spears, a love too wild to hold or tame, but beautiful just the same. You're still the breeze I turn to face, still dancing through the open space, a truth no age or weight can sheer. We live those dandelion years, still drifting, still near. Dandelion years. We were never clear, just close. I still hear you through the haze, like voices lost on rainy days. You never shouted, never stayed, just flickered soft and slipped away. We tuned to different frequencies, but love hum low beneath the keys. I reach for you in silent nights, through flashing screens and neon lights. You whisper truths in fractured tone, but static made them all unknown. There was static between us, white noise, love too faint to trust. We spoke in looks and echoed lines, a chorus made of tangled signs. You were the station, out of range, familiar, sweet and slightly strange. I tried to tune but lost the plus to static between us. You touch my hand then pull away, like you were real but made of sway. I learned your love in VHS, rewound it more but found it less. We danced in signals blurred and bent, each gesture fading as it went. I kept the songs, you kept the sound, and all the silence wrapped around. We shared the space but not the frame, and never dared to name the flame. There was static between us, white noise, love too faint to trust. We spoke in looks and echoed lines, a chorus made of tangled signs. You were the station, out of range, familiar, sweet and slightly strange. I tried to tune but lost the plus to static between us. Some hearts don't break, they blur and buzz, like frequencies that never was. You're still the hum I sometimes chase, in places love forgot to trace. There was static between us, still buzzing where the silence was. You flicker on my midnight screen, a memory caught in between. No fade to black, no final scene, just love lost in a looping dream, still faintly playing ever thus. That static between us. said it when the world turned dim. The night was falling slow and deep. The night was falling slow and deep, while all the stars began to sleep. You sat beside me on the dune, the sea reflecting half a moon. I didn't plan the words I spoke, they slipped like mist, they barely broke. I still love you, I barely said, and watch the tide turn velvet red. You didn't move, you didn't cry, but something shifted in the sky. It was my moonset confession, soft as dusk without aggression. Not meant to win, not meant to change, just truth released in quiet range. You didn't have to say a word, the silence was already heard. A love not lost, just past progression. My moonset confession. You looked ahead, I watched your face, a thousand memories in place, from coffee steam to borrowed coats, from secret songs to half-spun notes. We weren't a war, we weren't a flame, but love like ours still earned a name. And when I said what would mend, I felt the start of our true end. Still it felt like peace inside, to stop the ache I used to hide. It was my moonset confession, spoken in the last impression, a fading light, a whispered vow, too late to fix, too soon for now. You didn't run, you didn't stay, you watched the darkness take the bay, a truth with no sweet intercession. My moonset confession. flame too late to burn. The trees were bare, the air was glass. We walked like ghosts through fields of past. You didn't speak, but your eyes glowed with something soft you never showed. The sky was gray, the time was wrong, but hearts still whisper winter songs. I knew you'd leave before the snow, but I held you close and let it go. Not every fire is meant to rise. Some only bloom beneath goodbyes. Pale fire in November, brief warmth I'll always remember. poured the wine with trembling grace. A storm half hidden on your face. The record spun a tune we knew, but neither said what wasn't true. The candles flickered, shadows swayed, as if they knew what hearts betrayed. You raised a glass, I held your eye, and felt our silence amplified. The music spoke in place of us, in ghost notes soft and dangerous. Ghost notes and violet wine, a love too bruised, too undefined. We touched but never quite in time, like verses that refused to rhyme. Your lips were near, your heart behind, still echoing through space and mind. We danced on cracks too thin to find, to ghost notes and violet wine. We said we're fine, we said just tired, but every word was wired and mired. You smiled as if the truth was sweet, but love was bitter in defeat. The music built a minor swell, and every note became farewell. Still I held on just one more beat, pretending sorrow tastes like heat. No bridges burned, just strings unplayed, a melody too slow to fade. Ghost notes and violet wine, a love too bruised, too undefined. We touched but never quite in time, like verses that refused to rhyme. Your lips were near, your heart behind, still echoing through space and mind. We danced on cracks too thin to find, to ghost notes and violet wine. You said you'd call, you never did. Some loves just learn to softly skid. No grand collapse, no final cry, just music playing as we ghost notes and violet wine still stain the corners of my spine. You're not a wound, but not a line, just silence ringing all the time. I still replay that subtle scene where you were close but never seen. We ended without breaking spine, on ghost notes and violet wine. Still spinning, still mine. Ghost notes and violet wine. Ghost notes and violet wine. The light light stayed on after you left. We wrote our names in neon gold outside a theater growing old. You said this love deserved a screen, a silent film, a tragic scene. The poster smile, the velvet seats could never hold our quiet beats. You held my hand as curtains rose, but love is not a script we chose. Your lines were perfect, so were mine, but hearts forget their marks with time. Teardrops on the marquee, falling soft but shining free. You kissed me like a final bow. I didn't cry, not then, not now, but every light above that sign still flickers where we crossed the line. A closing night that had to be. Left teardrops on the marquee. We shared our popcorn, shared our doubt. In aisle seats love was figured out, but real life never waits for cue, and I could never follow through. You loved in ways I couldn't match. I held the door but missed the catch, and when the credits dared to roll, you left before the final scroll. Some stories end without applause and echo in their quiet loss. Teardrops on the marquee still stain the names of you and me. A spotlight dimmed, a role half played, a heartbreak we both misportrayed. The exit sign, a gentle flame that whispered truths we couldn't name. We watched it end, then let it be. With teardrops on the marquee. And now I pass that place alone, your shadow etched in every stone. I see our title up in lights, a fleeting love in Thursday night. Teardrops on the marquee, frozen frames of memory. You were the scene I can't unsee, the only act that stayed with me. No sequel now, no re-rented, just one great love we never shared. The show is gone, but haunting me. Our teardrops on the marquee. The light stayed on long after me. goodbye from how you moved. You didn't slam the door or shout. You didn't take the pictures out. You left the way a season does, with subtle wind and little fuss. Your shoes still sat beside the bed. Your scent still danced above my head. No suitcase packed, no harsh refrain, just silence soaking into rain. I saw it first in how you sighed, the way your eyes forgot to lie. That's the shape of leaving, not a break but slow unweaving. It's in the quiet turn too long, the whispered words that once were strong. You didn't run, you didn't cry, you left like dust dissolves the sky. And I stood still, just barely breathing, learning love through the shape of leaving. You touched my back like it was glass, a fragile world we couldn't pass. The coffee brewed but you declined. I should have known, I should have signed. Each gesture held a different weight, like fate had learned to imitate. A kiss that lands but doesn't stay, a hand that slowly pulls away. I wanted storms, I wanted fights, but you just faded from the lights. That's the shape of leaving, a ghost that never needed grieving. No slamming doors, no bitter scream, just love unraveling from the seam. You didn't lie, you didn't try, you just became a softer why. And I replay it, always see it, the outline in the shape of leaving. And if you ask me what went wrong, I'd say we danced too close to gone. Some love just isn't meant to hold. It slips like breath, like light, like cold. That's the shape of leaving, more truth than most of us believe in. You stayed until the end was near, then vanished like you weren't here. No trail of tears, no final plea, just space where you no longer be. And I remain forever grieving the beauty in the shape of leaving. Still breathing in the shape of leaving. turned the lights down low and said, there's something aching in my head. But I could hear it in your chest, the restlessness you never confessed. We danced around the things unsaid, the wine half full, the moment fled. You kissed me slow but not for long, like love knew it was stepping wrong. And when the silence grew too wide, the night wrote us apart, with ink too dark for a brand new start. Each breath a line, each sigh a page of lovers lost inside a cage. You didn't scream, you didn't stay, just let the dark erase the day and left your name inside my heart. The way the night wrote us apart. Your coat still hung behind the door, as if you might come back once more. But time has hands that don't rewind. It steals the warmth and leaves behind a trace of you in every room, a perfume ghost, a quiet gloom. We never broke, we just unspun, till every thread was overrun. And still I hear the way you breathed when all our stories disbelieved. The night wrote us apart, in cursive rain and quiet art. No final speech, no parting prose, just pages where the distance grows. You touched my cheek, then let it fall, as if you'd never touched it all. And in that pause I felt the start of how the night wrote us apart. Some endings don't arrive with sound, they linger soft then wrap around, like ink that dries before it bleeds, like love that only silence The night wrote us apart, a fading echo, a bleeding chart. Where we once soared, now shadows glide, and every kiss is just implied. But still I keep that final line, the way your lips stopped touching mine, a verse that broke my beating heart. The night that wrote us, tore us apart. The stories end where we depart. You always left before goodbye. The hallway smelled of lavender. The hallway smelled of lavender. The scent of you still lingers there. Your jacket gone, the keys were gone, but somehow all the lights stayed on. I stood inside the echo land of mornings kissed and nights half slept. coffee cup, a ghostly clue to everything I lost with you. You never slammed the door behind you, just erased the in-between lines. Lavender exit, soft and slow. You vanish like the last faint glow of street lamps fading into dawn. Before I knew it, you were gone. No bitter words, no final fight, just perfume fading out of sight. And now I breathe, but don't know how you left me with your scent somehow. I checked the drawer, you left ajar, a list of dreams, a crumpled star. You always said we'd find a place, but time kept changing what we chased. I think I knew the end was near, the way your laughter disappeared. Still I replay the days we shared and wonder if you ever cared. But some goodbyes are made of grace, not noise, just absence in its place. Lavender exit, calm and clear. A part of you still lingers here, not in your touch, but in the hue of every sky that once held you. I watch the door, but know it's done. You love like dust, not like the sun. A soft retreat, a fading vow. You left me with your scent somehow. And maybe this was all you knew, to love, then leave and still be true. But I was made for holding tight, not blooming only for one night. Lavender exit, sweet and strange. A love too soft to try and change. You left me gently, almost kind, a fragrance I can't leave behind. Now every time the wind blows through, I feel the part that once was you. No need for tears, no solemn vow. You left me with your scent somehow. Lavender exit, and I'm still here. saw us clearly when you turned away. The mirror held what words disguise a look you gave, but not your eyes. You said we're fine, you wore a grin, but cracks begin where truths grow thin. Your arms around me soft and tight, but love can't fake the way it lights. And in the frame above the bed, I saw the things you never said. Reflections hold what hearts won't show, and mirrors see what lovers throw. Because mirrors don't lie, they show the truth we try to hide. Your smile was there, but not your soul. A distant flame that lost control. I watched you fade from side to side in glass where love and ghosts collide. You said you'd stay, I don't know why, but mirrors don't lie. We talked in circles, safe and still, but silence echoed louder still. You touched my cheek like nothing's wrong, but absence hung beneath the song. I turned away but turned back fast to catch a glimpse of all that passed. And there it was in black and white, the love we lost to silent fights. You never screamed, you never ran, but every glance betrayed your plan. Because mirrors don't lie, they hold the tears we won't let cry. They frame the hurt behind the smile, the truths we hide to love a while. I saw you leave before you left, a shadow carved from something theft. I stayed and asked the glass reply, but mirrors don't lie. You look so whole, but I could tell your heart had learned to say farewell. And every time I dared to see, you weren't looking back at me. Because mirrors don't lie, they keep the past beneath the eye. You loved me once, I still believe, but something in you chose to leave. I stared too long, I saw too clear the fading trace of once held dear. And now I know the final why. Because mirrors don't lie. I saw us clearly and said goodbye. still read what you never sent, in a box wrapped soft in satin red, on letters that you never said, each folded page a silent vow, still sealed in ink that's fading now. Your script so neat, so filled with grace, like love preserved in paper space. You never meant for me to see, but words can speak so endlessly. You wrote like hope still had a name, but every line is just the same. Satin letters in the dark, love unraveled still leaves a mark. I hold your lines, they still feel warm, a phantom touch, a quiet storm. You never sent them, never tried, but part of you refused to hide. Now every word a glowing spark, from satin letters in the dark. You said you dreamt of someday soon, of dancing slow beneath the moon, but fear it inked between each line, a love afraid of its own shine. The dates, the tears, the half goodbye, the things you never let me try, still now they float beneath my hands like ghosted hearts and shifting sands. And maybe silence kept you safe, but I still read what love could shape. Satin letters in the dark, written from a trembling heart. They never reach my open door, but now they echo even more. Your fear, your fire, your undone grace, still written soft in every space. A love that paused but left a mark, in satin letters in the dark. Some truths aren't meant to cross the air, but still they live in paper stare. And even if you walked away, your heart still had too much to say. Satin letters in the dark, still beat like shadows on my spark. You may have loved me quietly, but I can feel it endlessly. And though your voice has long been still, these pages breathe, they always will. You never sent them, but they're starred, these satin letters in the dark. I still read what you never sent. bride with ribbon trembling hand. You wrote your truth in gentle ink. I read it slow, so I won't sink. You spoke of love beneath the rain, of distant nights and fleeting pain, of how we danced in empty halls and caught our shadows on the walls. Every word a soft confession, every line a lost obsession. But your goodbye was crystal clear, and yet I still keep you near. Crimson letters call my name, every page a burning flame. Though you're gone, the ink remains. Written love that left a stain. Crimson letters, bittersweet, where your memories and mine meet. We trace the shape of our last kiss in metaphors I still don't miss. You said the stars forgot to shine the night we lost what once was mine. I should have burned them long ago, but something in me needs to know skyline, melting slow, where we met in afterglow. You smiled like time stood still, hearts aligned by pure will. I found you where the rivers breathe, a quiet place beneath belief. You wore the dusk like velvet dreams and held me close through silent themes. Your eyes wrote sonnets into mine, each glance a vow beyond design. We spoke in shadows, soft and sweet, two strangers with a heartbeat's beat. And every second whispered grace, the way your hand cupped my face. I knew if stars could make a sound, it's what I felt when you were around. Lavender skyline, hold me tight, wrap me in your endless night. Kiss me slow beneath the blue, where forever still feels new. Lavender skyline, don't let go. You're the only truth I know. We trace the sky with fingertips, mapped galaxies with quiet lips. You read my fears like sacred text and loved me more than I expect. The breeze would carry